Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we have the all-new Azur Lane Yukikaze, a gunboat variant, and of the new ships, which I kind of hesitate to call them new ships, but of the new Azur Lane ships, I think this is the best one. By no means is it one that you need to run out there and rush and get, but it is definitely one that I think is worth taking a look at, especially if you enjoy Japanese gunboats, because there is some fun to be had with it, and we absolutely have some great times with it. We end the game with a Kraken, so it is a good time. Anyway, we are here on Ring, and well, we might as well head on into D, try to get the cap. I should also probably throw up the commander, and we are of course using Azur Lane Yukikaze, the commander with Azur Lane Yukikaze, the ship. We'll go ahead and throw up that wonderful build. Sims and Mordoff are the two inspirations. I think you could also have fun with Vine, especially given the unique skill buffs incoming fire dispersion, so you could get a fairly significant amount of incoming fire dispersion if you kind of build that way. Then we're running Sims just to get that extra HP, because you're going to be brawling in this ship. The guns do a decent amount. They have a decent both HE and Alpha and AP hit. We saw right there 2,000 off of like one salvo. Pretty decent for a gun for a ship that's gonna fire every 5 seconds. And the HE is also surprisingly good. I find myself setting a lot more fires than I would expect with this ship. It has a 9% fire chance to begin with, but it feels like it's a lot more. The other thing to know about this ship is its torpedoes. It is definitely different than the base Yukikaze's torpedoes. Base Yukikaze, the torpedoes have a range of 8 kilometers, and they go 80 knots. This Yukikaze, 10 kilometers at 65 knots. And you're like, oh, that's good. Then you look over at the detectability range on the base Yukikaze, 1.8 kilometers. And you're like, oh, okay, that's balanced because they're traveling so fast. This one, 2.3 kilometers, and they travel a lot slower. So ships can see torpedoes from the Yukikaze coming from a mile away. We can see this Colorado knows these torpedoes are on his way, slows down right behind that island, and is easily able to dodge and not get hit by him. The torpedoes on this ship are very much more zoning torps. They're ones that enemies are going to see from very, very far away, and usually will have time to get to dodge. Sometimes, if you kind of line up a battleship perfectly, they may not have the room to maneuver, but most of the time, you won't be expecting many torp hits. But if you do get the torp hits, you're looking at 21,000 damage as the torp hit goes. So pretty good torp hit there. Anyways, we've gone ahead, sunk for the first Colorado, captured the D point, and we're going to try to go ahead and knock out this other Colorado. Then it's time for us to go destroyer hunting, because we saw that wonderful British Icarus was in the area, and we're like, okay, it's weird he didn't come in and push us with his sonar, but we're going to go ahead and try this. Let's go ahead, start the turn, and oh boy! There's a Dallas and a New Mexico. We're going to go ahead, launch torps in the gap that we know they're going in, and then try to start putting our distance between us and them. One of the things you have to think about when you're running Yukikaze is the position of the guns. It is one of those ships that wants you to run away, as in you want to be running away from your targets. The turrets are more favored to the rear. This boat was designed to be a torp boat, and therefore it kind of still plays and has the DNA of a torp boat. You kind of engage people, and then you just start driving away, because the majority of your turrets are on your rear. They have the best firing angles from the rear. You can go ahead and keep twisting and turning and firing over your shoulder. We get 3 hits with the torpedoes there. New Mexico starts flooding. We're going to switch our fire over to him, see if we can get a quick fire on him. And we're down to 2/3 of our health after kind of engaging that Dallas. But we've also used this time to get closer to the enemy destroyer, and it's now time to show off what the Yukikaze can do, because while it's been fun engaging enemy battleships during this match, the real star of the show is the Yukikaze when it decides to engage its fellow destroyers. As far as a DPM goes, you're looking in the upper tiers of DPM coming from premium or coming from destroyers at tier 6, looking at 163,000 to DPM. To give you an idea, it has 69 shells per minute. Nice. With a 5.2 second reload time on our current build, which is about a 30% increase or decrease from the base Yukikaze, and that makes a huge difference because it keeps the HE shells that hit like a truck. Look at how much we're chunking this Icarus for as we get these guns on target. He's losing a third of his health with each full salvo, which means you can just absolutely dump truck enemy destroyers with this, and that's the fun of the Yukikaze, is they don't the Azur Lane Yukikaze is you can do a surprisingly good amount of damage, and if you time it right and you play it right and you're kind of fleeing using those rear two guns, you can get out of engagements with not very much health lost, even when you would expect yourself to be, losing a ton. Anyways, Icarus goes down right there. Kind of surprised he didn't use his sonar. It must have been on reload. But now it's time to try to kind of start heading towards sea. Map as it is right now, we have a one-ship advantage. There's 2 destroyers still remaining. I like that, mainly because, as you saw, Yukikaze surprisingly decent at engaging enemy destroyers. So I'm liking that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead, kind of defend our territorial conquest of D, and try to move into C, because we know one of the enemies is out there, and it looks like we're going to have a nice friendly escort of this. I think it's a Nuremberg. It looks German. It looks like a German cruiser. But going back to the Yukikaze, is it worth the price to pay to get it right now? Probably not. I do enjoy these kind of wonky builds, and that's exactly what this feels like. It feels like you would not expect a Japanese Yukikaze to be a gunboat, so it takes a couple of people by surprise if they're not in the know as far as like, oh, I've seen a Yukikaze before. I know how I'm supposed to engage it. This is a very, very different ship, and that's why I'm enjoying it a ton. Is it worth going out there and spending, I think, the 12,500 doubloons to pick it up? Maybe not. It's a virtual boat, guys. You know what the cost of premiums are, and you know there's probably some better premiums out there on sale. Specifically, if you're looking for a gunboat, I think Z35 or Kid are going to serve you a lot better, and you're going to have a lot more fun in them. But as far as like this unique ship, and if you are someone who enjoys Japanese gunboats, I think the Yukikaze is a great addition to your fleet. Anyways, Kiev is engaging the Nuremberg out there. We saw the Dallas pop up, but we can't quite get a spot on him, but we're going to try to kind of head on over there because he doesn't have a bunch of health left, and we assume we should be able to start duking it out with him and then move on to the Kiev. But we just need to get him spotted. We see him. Our friendly ship is spotting him for us. He starts engaging him, gets a decent salvo off on him. We're going to go ahead, fire our first salvo. 1 shell hits. Going to try one last shot. Rear guns, thankfully, make it over the island. And it leaves him with just a barely slither of health. And, well, the 2 cruisers trade. So, no kill for us there. But we now have kind of isolated ourselves with this Kiev. We know it's now going to be a 1v1 versus us, and we need to be prepared. Luckily, we have about the same concealment rating. Earlier today, when I was playing this match, I came up across another Yukikaze, but they were built for concealment. Another Azur Lane Yukikaze, they were built for concealment, and I'm not built for concealment at all at this point. And they were able just to keep me spotted the whole game. Chased them for half the match and just couldn't catch up to them because we had the same speed, so there wasn't much we could do. Anyways, Kiev comes right here, and boy, does this feel familiar. Thankfully, all those rounds of 1v1ing in ranked have helped me for this. We can see we both sort of have the same plan of using the island for cover. He does get 2 fires off on us. We're going to go ahead and repair that. We're going to go ahead, lay a set of widespread torps down here. Of course, he is going to be able to spot them pretty much through the island because of that 2-kilometer range, but it's nice to see, and we just need to keep this turn going. Because remember, we want to be heading away from him when he comes around the island, so the best way to do that is just to keep on turning. He's going to assume we're going to keep a straight line, dumps torps on the other side. Good play on him, because I feel like that's what a good chunk of enemy commanders would do, and he doesn't even have twist and track or or perceptive to see what we're doing. We can see he made the 180 turn. We get our rear guns once again to engage him. Once again, the rear guns on the Yukikaze are the MVP. They really do help you make the plays, and they let you kind of control the engagements. He's dumping smoke to control to try to stop the spot from our friendly cruiser that is currently taking the sea cap, and we're going to start just chunking him away. Like I said, that's what the Yukikaze does up against destroyers. It just chunks him for good chunks of health, and there he is. He goes down, and now it's just 2 ships remaining, and it's currently our battleship just trying to protect it. I think it's a Gaide, and it's a Mutsu. So we're going to hit the speed boost, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop talking because we have to sail across half the map in order for the next engagement. Okay, we made it across the map. We get spotted. Gaide spots us. We continue to spot him back. He slows down. I think tried to get into smoke. Sadly, the rear guns don't engage. Next shot, we also miss, but we're just trying to keep angled in because he could be dumping torps at any moment. Thankfully, we were able to finish him off with our nose gun. We're going to go hard to port. That way, we know we didn't ever see the Gaide turn enough in order to dump torps if we go left. So we want to make sure we're not going into the area where he could have dumped torps. We see his torps go by. Mutsu, we line up a second set of torps coming out at him, and we're now just going to start running away. Our guns will do decent damage to a broadside Mutsu. We can see we get the first fire right there, get all pens right there, get the high caliber. Torpedo's looking great. He is not really turning out or turning in too much. They starting to look good, and now we just want to kind of get him on the edge of our engagement range. In case these torpedoes miss, we are able to continue to set some fires on him, try to engage him. He puts out a shot, but it is not enough because we end up hitting him with the torpedoes, and that gets us the Kraken. And guys, that is the Azur Lane Yukikaze. Like I said, I don't think it's a ship that you need to run out, rush out, and get. But if you enjoy Japanese gunboats, it does offer a unique experience on what was already kind of a unique premium ship. And, you know, it's really up to you if you want to go out and get it, but I'm definitely enjoying my time in it. As far as the Commander Yukikaze goes, she has straight up replaced my Kurita. I think, like I said in my regular Azur Lane video, the base trait that you get with Yukikaze is just better than the base trait that Kurita gets, and I like the special skill. But guys, that's all I have for tonight. If you liked the video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.